Hey everybody, it's Kelly Cooper and welcome to another Facebook Live video. Today I want to talk about how when it comes to energetic transformation, slow and steady wins the race. And what I mean by that is when we try to change our energy too fast, it tends not to work because we're just trying to exist in a space that's very unfamiliar to us. We might not have spent a lot of time in this higher energy, perhaps ever in our whole lives. And one of the reasons, right, why we're trying to make this fast change, right, is because we're in a rush to get our stuff right. We want everything to change as quickly as possible. And according to the law of attraction, our energy creates our reality, and the more positive you are, the more good things will happen for you, blah, 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 right? So there's this rush to get in this energetic state, this vibration that we think will get us our stuff, again, as quickly as possible, because we don't like how we feel now, and our mind thinks the manifestations are going to fix our feelings. Again, your mind is operating completely from a space of just pain minimization. I don't like how I feel. I feel this way because of my outside circumstances. So ergo, if I change my outside circumstances, I feel better. So again, there's this big rush to get into this higher energy so you can get the stuff that'll make your shitty feelings go away. And as a lot of you have probably seen, there's a lot of tension and anxiety there because, again, this higher energy, it's not really genuine. You don't actually really feel that way. There's no momentum behind this energy because, again, you've never really felt this way before. Your beliefs and all these other things lent themselves to a much lower energy, if you will. I know we think in terms of low and high, but that's not actually a real thing. It's a way to kind of conceptualize it to our mind. But yeah, and you see what happens. There's no momentum behind this energy, so it really can't last. And this is especially true when you combine this tendency, there's lack of momentum, with the fact that we've been existing in the complete opposite space for pretty much our entire lives. And this opposite space is our feelings are conditional. We feel a certain way based on what's happening in our reality. We don't like what's happening. Our mind's judging all the things in our reality in a way that makes us feel really shitty. It's telling all these really shitty stories, and we only feel better when something changes to warrant the change in emotion, right? So if that's how you've been living your whole life, and then all of a sudden you just try to just being happy just for the sake of being happy, just to get your stuff, again, and the positive emotion is just a means to an end. Your mind sees it as just yet another tool to try to manipulate your circumstances. How long do you think you're going to be able to feel that good with nothing changing? With all the stuff you don't like that you were blaming your negative feelings on this whole time not changing? It doesn't last very long at all. Again, there's no momentum, coupled with the fact that feeling good without a change in circumstances for any length of time, it's just, it doesn't work. And what happens is a lot of us, we try to cultivate this super high energy. My husband's always walking around in the background. It's super annoying. Just pick a spot and stay there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, at least while I'm doing my videos. So, yeah, you see what happens, right? There's this underlying tension. There's this underlying anxiety. And again, the feeling's really not genuine because you're not trying to cultivate it for the sake of feeling better. You're trying to cultivate it as a tool. It's just a stepping stone. It's a means to an end. And again, when your positive emotion isn't really the goal in and of itself, it tends not to last very long. It doesn't permeate very deeply into your energy. It's on a very surface level and it's still largely conditional. You'll keep feeling this way when you get your stuff, right? But then when the stuff doesn't come, it's hard to keep feeling that way because you're not used to feeling good independent of your circumstances. So when you try to make these more gradual shifts in your energy, that actually leads to faster transformation because these gradual shifts, they're real, they're genuine. You're actually feeling better. And if you're actually feeling better, your energy is changing in actual real ways. You'll manifest evidence of these shifts in your energy. You'll manifest possibilities. You'll manifest things that make you realize, oh, maybe what I want is possible. Maybe there is something to this whole law of attraction, conscious creation thing. Maybe it's just not total bullshit or wishful thinking by really desperate people that just want, their lives to magically change for them. And this evidence strengthens your confidence. It strengthens your faith, and you can keep building on that energy. So to our mind thinks, well, this slows shit down. I got to jump right to shitting rainbows happy to get my stuff. That's the energy I need to exist in, not only to get your stuff, but because obviously that energy feels better than feeling crappy. And we have this kind of addiction to like positive feeling, and we just want to feel it all the time, and we can't bear it when we're not feeling that way. But again, we're doing this from a place of pressure and tension and just trying to change the outside. And the goal in and of itself is not our happiness in any real way. So again, this energy just isn't going to stick. What's he doing over there? It's annoying me today. I don't know why. It's just my own issue, I guess. But anyway, right? So these smaller shifts, they're real. They're genuine. And I know our mind is like, no, well, smaller shifts, we'll have to wait longer to get our stuff. No, the stuff will come faster because the gradual shifts, your energy is actually changing. You're building momentum. That's the thing you have to understand about energy. You have to think of the idea of momentum. There's no momentum behind this really super high energy because you haven't been feeling that way, really. You've been feeling shitty and focusing negatively. And there's a lot of momentum there. So when we try to force these high energy states that are just very wispy and new and fragile, and again, simply to cultivate the energy just to get something we don't have on top of it makes it even more fragile and wispy and essentially not real. That can't compete against the deep momentum of all of your negative feelings and your negative focus, because there's a lot of momentum there. Those grooves are very deeply ingrained into your energy. That's a very well-trodden path, right? So yeah, your mind doesn't understand that though, and it thinks rushing is the way to go. So be willing to make the gradual shifts. You have to understand, you must understand your circumstances are not the true cause of your negative feelings on that deepest level. On a surface level, yeah, sure. You have stuff happening, your mind's telling a story about it, and your emotions are a response to that mental chatter and those stories. But go down even 1-2 layers down, you see it's nothing about your circumstances. They're just triggering stuff that's already been within you. So the more you can understand that, the less of a rush you'll be in to change your energy just for the sake of getting the stuff you don't have, because you realize that's not the answer. When you can really start to really consider this truth, even just sometimes, partially. Oh, someone's sweeping back there. I was going to yell at my husband, but it wasn't him. It was the neighbor. So, I don't know if you hear that or not. It's very noisy here. I'm in like a Thai, it's like a village, not like a village, but it's very, all the houses are kind of close together, and you can just hear there's noise constantly of whether it's sweeping, roosters, people banging on shit. I don't know, it's just noisy here. I can't wait for a quiet time to do the videos, or else it might not ever come. Right, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, right, your mind doesn't understand this gradual shifting is actually the faster way. It doesn't get it because it's in such a rush to get your stuff. It wants you to get into this high energy as quickly as possible. But again, it's very foreign. There's no momentum. You're not used to feeling good without your circumstances changing first. So when you combine all of this together, when you're trying to force these high energy states, again, they're not really genuine. And a lot of you see there's an underlying tension and anxiety there because you're just trying to do it to get something else. It's a means to an end. It's not the goal in and of itself. But the gradual shifting, you build the momentum. You need the momentum behind this new energy. And the gradual shift is what gives you the momentum. Because when you have the momentum, even on the surface level, when you're freaking out about stuff or stuff is happening, there's your core energy is different now. It's changed, and you can get back to that energy more quickly. The moments when you leave it, it's not as intense, it's not as long lasting, it doesn't affect your energy as much because that energy is not as dominant anymore. You'll have your moments, but there again, you're building that momentum. That core base energy is changing, and again, you get back to it more quickly. You can tap into it more easily, and it influences your reality more because it's gaining strength. The gradual change will give you all of that. Now, you can change as fast as you think you can change. If you can jump from this to this genuinely, go for it. But I imagine anyone capable of doing that, you would have done it already. Why would you be torturing yourself for years existing in this shitty energy when you could just be like, oh, I'll just be happy instead? You would have been doing it already. In theory, it's possible. So make as big of a leap as you can that's genuine. You don't have to take it slow. But for most of us, we're going to have to do that because, again, to make that big of a leap, it just can't be sustained. And then what happens is it's almost like a rebound effect. You don't feel good. then you're trying to force this positive energy. Again, it doesn't last, no momentum, it's very foreign, nothing's changing to feed the energy outside, to feed it and keep it going. And you kind of fall back down, and then you feel worse because you might have been feeling really good. You got a little addicted to that energy. For a while, it might have felt kind of genuine. It might have felt real. Something happened that inspired you, or a manifestation happened that made you feel better, and you might have genuinely felt it on a surface level. And now this lower energy feels even worse in comparison, right? This whole thing, it just tortures us, and it fucks with our energy, and it makes our energy like bounce up and down all around. And you don't want that. You want to try to make it more stable and consistent. The gradual change again. So for example, if you've been really, really depressed and you're trying to jump into an energy where like you can't wait to get out of bed every day and just, you know, you see a beautiful butterfly and you're like, wow, that really makes life worth living. Look at that beautiful creature. Again, if you really feel that way, go for it. You know, don't tamp it down. And you know, you can, but again, that's probably not going to be what's happening. So you might have a day where like you feel better for a couple of hours when you've been feeling bad every waking hour. That's a huge improvement. You might not believe with all your heart right now certain beliefs that will lend themselves to your circumstances changing. That's okay. You don't need to. Trying to pretend you believe stuff you don't believe. Your mind thinks this helps you. I promise you it does not. But you might concede, okay, I don't believe with all my heart my dream job is out there. But what I can concede right now is, just because I haven't come across it yet, just because my mind can't envision how it would come, or just because my mind thinks it can only come these two ways and I've already exhausted those options, so I guess I'm out of luck, I'll concede that my mind doesn't know everything. So again, you might not be in the space of believing with all your heart that your dream job exists, but you've moved a little up the ladder, you've moved a little further away from the shitty energy by conceding, you know what, maybe my mind doesn't know everything. Okay, again, in that energy, it opens stuff up, it releases a little pressure, it eases some tension, and again, you might manifest, I don't know, you'll see a job posting that you're like, oh wow, like that's not quite the job, but it's closer to what I want, so maybe it is possible. Or someone talks about their friend got this job or this job that's kind of like the job you want. You're like, oh yeah, maybe those jobs are out there. So you'll have these manifestations come in. They might not be the big, sexy, crazy manifestation that's like, oh my God, without a doubt, the law of attraction is real. I have no doubt in my mind I'm going to get what I want. But it might be a smaller thing that shows you, yeah, what you want is possible, but you got to fucking relax a little bit, and you got to change your energy to let these little manifestations in, these stepping stone manifestations, these manifestations to kind of show you, yeah, what you want is actually possible. And again, like I said before, those manifestations, they give you faith, they give you confidence, and then you're like, oh yeah, maybe like it is possible. And again, again, there's a momentum there. You're building a momentum. The energy is becoming real. It's becoming your own energy, not just this fake energy that you're trying to cultivate just to get what you want. So when you understand how these gradual changes work energetically, you see it's actually the faster way. So you're not going to benefit yourself by trying to force yourself into some shitting rainbows happy energy if you don't ever feel that way ever. Pretending you believe stuff you don't believe, that's not going to help you either. It's gradual. You try to gradually feel better. You do a little thing here and there, you think that'll make you feel a little better. Don't put pressure on yourself to feel a level of happiness and a level of energy that is just not there and that you just can't sustain. Because again, you can't sustain it, and then because your mind is so used to living outside in and your emotion being so conditional, to just switch gears all of a sudden to have your circumstances have nothing to do with how you feel, and you get to feel good no matter what's happening, and you see everything is serving you and all these warm, fuzzy, wonderful beliefs that are very true, but to just totally switch gears, that you would have done it already. You know what I'm saying? So just understand gradual changes, gradual shifts in your belief, just making certain concessions that your mind doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about, even though you don't quite believe this thing yet. You are willing to question, you're willing to concede, but maybe the shitty things I believe, maybe they're not true. And again, that energy, that's a real shift. And you'll manifest evidence of these changing beliefs. And again, the confidence, the faith, all of that increases. And it gets easier to change your energy. It gets easier to release the beliefs and ways of focusing not serving you, because you're getting this evidence that helps you make these beliefs and these things truly your own, and not just something you're accepting on theory or something you're pretending to believe or pretending to feel because you think that'll get you what you want. You're actually starting to believe these things. You're actually starting to feel this way, and it's real. So yeah, That's it, guys. Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to energetic transformation. Don't put pressure on yourself to exist in this energy that's just light years away from where you might be right now. And this is especially true if you're feeling like really down in the dumps, like really shitty, like depressed. I barely get out of bed the last 6 months. I don't even see the point of living. If you're in that energy, you gotta take it slow. I know we just want to be happy and we want to get our stuff and we don't like our shitty feelings and we just want them to go away. But just make peace with where you are right now, energetically, emotionally. Make peace with where you are in the process of how deeply you've accepted these teachings and accepted these perspectives and all these spiritual truths and spiritual laws and blah, blah, blah. And don't force it. Don't fake it. Just don't do any of that stuff. Again, your mind thinks this will benefit you somehow, like you can trick the universe into thinking you exist in an energy that you actually don't exist in, or whatever, right? So yeah, slow and steady will win the race when it comes to energetic transformation. Don't be in such a rush to change your energy, because it won't be genuine. You'll feel really shitty. Anxiety and tension will underlie all of it, and you're going to tune into that, and it's going to feel really gross. You're going to beat yourself up for not being happy enough. All you're going to be focuses on is what you don't have, and in a rush to get it. And it's just, it's a big mess, and you don't need to torture yourself like that. So try for more gradual changes that actually leads to faster energetic transformation. Your mind does not understand this, but it's true. I promise you. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day or night. If you have a question you'd like to see answered on video, leave it in the comments or send me a message. For more information about my coaching services, products, content on my website, blog posts and podcasts and all that, you can visit livelifemadeorder.com. Bye-bye.